Hey, thank you so much for being on Lessons Learned, especially during Black History Month.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Yes. So you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Ron. I'm not even sure exactly what to say other than my name for an introduction, but um, clearly I fit the description for the topic of discussion. So let's
I
go.
mean, like, just tell you like what kind of things you do and stuff.
Okay. I'm into music. I'm getting into real estate at the moment, so that's something that I'm
Nice.
definitely excited about. It's a big, bright future out there, and got to try to put a little bit of your hand on it at a time, But other than that, guilty. I'm a gamer, video games,
Why are
Xbox,
you
can't help
guilty?
myself because, like, video games consume way too much time, especially with the other things that I'm trying to do. So it's like I gotta put that down a little bit more. So
You know,
that's
I
all.
feel like there's a stigma between people that play video games.
What you mean?
Like people judge people for playing video games.
Absolutely. People judge people for any and every reason though. Let's be
Yeah,
serious.
so but what made you want to say guilty? Like you
Because
shouldn't be
I
ashamed
know
of
because
that.
no, because I feel personally like I do spend too much time on the Xbox. So that's why I say guilty. I'm holding myself accountable before
Okay.
I say what my pleasure is. That's all.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I
You
don't know
ain't
if
interrupted nothing. Let's go. You good. You
Okay,
good.
okay. So what does Black History Month mean to you?
Whew. Um, Black History Month to me is like many things in life, kind of sort of a gift and a curse, just for the simple fact that as we've talked about, not even on camera, off camera, Black History Month is not just 28 days or 29 with a leap year out of a year. Like Black History is every day. Like a lot of people don't pay attention to the fact that a lot of the things that we have within our society was created by a Black person, and I'm pretty sure they didn't create it in February. So
Mm,
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
No, I totally agree with you. And I feel like a lot of people, even on this month, we don't really get recognition for it. So I always think that's crazy how
Mm.
we, like you said, we started a lot of things, we created a lot of things, we got America going, but we don't get any recognition
built
for it.
built on our backs, and I'm pretty sure that took more than a month.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Absolutely.
why do you think it's the shortest month of the year?
I mean, how else are they supposed? And I say they, but society. When I say they, how else is society supposed to give us the little recognition that we're supposed to receive according to them? Give us the shortest month out of the year.
So you just think that's because that's how it's supposed to be, or like how
I'm
come it
not
couldn't have
saying
been?
that's how it's supposed to be. I'm just saying that's how it was designed.
Mm,
Nobody's saying that's how it's supposed to be. We like we already said, it's not just a month. Like things happen, things were created, movements were started, like petitions were signed, and again, all these things didn't only take place during the month of February. So I feel like it's just an excuse. It's a band aid. It's here you got something. Be happy you got something. That's what I see it as with us receiving the shortest month of the year.
I mean, I feel like some people don't even think about it that way. They're just like, why do they have a month? So what do you have to say about people that have that think that way?
I mean, clearly, those are some of the most selfish people on the planet. First and foremost, I mean, let's be honest. Like, that's like I would consider a person like that as someone that doesn't even really see past their own nose to be able to see that there is something outside of themselves, let alone outside of their race or nationality. Um, it's sad all the way around. I mean, like it's supposed to be uplifting, but it's like again, it's the shortest month out of the year. People complain about the fact that we're even recognized for things. And it's like, why would you even be mad? It's like, and this might be a little out of line, but those are probably the same people who come from ancestors who were raised by black people in their homes.
Mm,
It's
mm.
like you didn't even stop to think about that. You just, why do they deserve this? Why did they? But seriously,
I know.
you I'm pretty sure one of your ancestors was raised by somebody that looked like me.
Do you think it's a lot of, especially like white people and stuff, do you think they're embarrassed to try to go back into history because their ancestors had slaves
Of
and went through
course.
that? Yeah.
Of course they're embarrassed
And so they're
because
trying to
they are
hide it.
of that's not even a question. Of course they're trying to hide it. How else what do people do with their shame? When they don't know how to deal with their shame, what do people do with their shame? They try to bury it. So of course they're gonna be shameful. Of course they're gonna try to hide it. Like you don't know how to deal with your feelings, so you're gonna deal with them in a negative manner. In this case, hiding it is the negative manner.
Mm. Have
What
you
are you
ever had,
laughing at?
I'm just, you're right. Like it's interesting.
Mm,
But
okay.
have you had any triumphs as a black man? Have you experienced any?
Um, I would say yes. Um, and it's not really so much a triumph in the sense that the outcome played out exactly how I wanted it to play out or anything at all. It's just, it could be something just as simple, and in this sense, it was something just as simple as receiving the respect that I deserve. And the fact that I was able to get that respect even after being written off for the way that I looked or the way that I was presented to said person by another. It's like, how are you just going to judge me and you haven't even had a single conversation with me? So,
Because of your skin color.
of course, that's the reason why. And because of, again, what you've been told about me, if you're told, oh, he's belligerent, oh, he doesn't know how to speak to people, oh, this, that, and the third of a negative manner, and then I come up to you and I say, may I have a conversation with you, please? And you just automatically write me off, that's clearly because you've been fed a bunch of stuff and now you're going off of it. And clearly that's the wrong approach. And for that to even take place in the work space is even more atrocious, in my opinion. And that is where this triumph was accomplished. I mean, granted, it was just a temp job, but like I said, it's like I have an issue with what's going on in your work area, and you didn't even want to hear me. You just automatically wanted to write me off based on what you were told by other people. And if you really think that's just going to happen here, you're sadly mistaken because I'm nothing like what you were told. And you haven't even bothered to have the conversation with me. Maybe if you took the time, you would see that. And literally, the conversation went from you're leaving to I'll see you in my office in an hour and let's have a sit down conversation.
I
Mentally, that's a triumph because I could have been exactly what everyone said I was, and that would have made them right. And that would have really pissed me off because I'm not here for you to be right. I'm here to do what's right. There's a huge
mm,
difference in that.
that's crazy. Mm-mm.
So, like I said, even though it's something technically small, mentally, that's a step.
I mean, I feel like a triumph could be physically or mentally. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-mm. So, let's talk about colorism now, especially in our own community.
Mm.
Do you think it's a big topic or do you just think it's something in our heads?
Um, I would say it's both, if anything. Um, I really want to know exactly what you mean by it, though.
I mean, for instance, like,
Mm-hmm.
does a lighter skinned black woman get more benefits than a someone like my skin color, for instance, a
Of
darker
course.
tone?
Of course.
Want to explain why?
Um, Favoritism, for starters. Um, Negligence is another good word to put in there, just for the simple fact that, again, people don't take the time to actually get to know someone for who they are. Like, just because someone is of fairer skin complexion doesn't mean that they're going to be more so educated, doesn't mean that they're going to be more so well spoken. But these are the things that are put towards people as labels, and it's really unfair. Um, for example, uh, when you look at the news, like, and you of all people, you know where I'm going with this. And before I say that, I have to say that I'm still proud of this, of the decision that you made to not do what they wanted you to do, because honestly, that was a triumph, and
Mm-hmm.
that was very powerful and symbolic to me when you did that, because you needed to stand up and you made the right choice. You stood up, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we don't have enough of. But back to the topic, um, when you look at the news and you see a black woman on the news, what type of hair does she have?
Straight.
Mm.
Very straight.
When you did this, I was like, that's not like, I thought you was pointing at yourself like that's
No,
you know
no,
that
no, not this. They
exactly.
would not accept it.
No. So the no, 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 no.
But I
But
meant like the length, long,
yes,
straight
yes,
hair.
stringy. What can be resembled to what?
Yeah. The good thing is that
What they possess themselves. Like, and that's, and whoa. Maybe that's why it is that way. For the simple fact they see something they can relate to,
mm, but
which
it
is
is
ignorant
kind of
still.
changing a little bit. It is changing because you do see some black women wearing their natural hair and stuff, but it is very
Mhm.
rare. It is.
Very rare, very rare, very rare, and disgustingly rare at that. Because there are so many different beautiful creatures on this planet, and it has nothing to do with the shade of their skin.
Or their hair.
Exactly.
Speaking of hair, have you had any triumphs about that? Have anyone discriminated you about hair?
Um, Based on the conversation we had earlier, I could say yes and no. Just because from your standpoint, like I said, I can understand how it could be seen as discrimination, and
Hey,
from
first, okay, I wasn't saying it was discrimination. I kind of just want to see where your mindset was.
you
But
kind of sort of did say that it
not,
was kind of discriminatory in a sense of us being
I
discriminatory
didn't
against each
say that.
other.
I just asked you. I was like, do you think it would be?
But you don't believe that? You were just asking if I
I'm
thought it?
asking. Me
That's
asking
not
doesn't
something you
mean
believe. I'm asking, is that something you believe now?
I, I don't
Do you
know.
believe?
Like,
Okay,
I have to
that's
hear
fair.
more
That's
things,
fair.
but
That's fair because, like I
I'm
said,
open.
I
I'm
can see
open
how it's
to it.
both. Right.
Yeah,
I can, like, right. Of course.
go ahead.
Um, when I was growing up, um, I always wanted to grow my hair, and every time I would try to grow my hair, my grandmother would get in my ear and say things like, "Oh, you look so much better when you have a clean cut, a clean shaven head. Like a clean cut, clean haircut." And just to keep a smile on her face, I would cut my hair, even though it wasn't really what I wanted. Um, okay, fine. And we did speak about this in an even more prior conversation. I realized you can laugh; it don't matter. Um,
You're just funny. That's why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you.
no. I'm not taking it as you're laughing at me. It's all good. I guess you could say that because discrimination can definitely be amongst ourselves in reference of hair, just for the simple fact that being told that we should have our hair a specific way, in a sense, is discrimination with amongst ourselves. But like I said to you earlier, it could be seen that way, or it could be seen as a protective mechanism, just for the simple fact that we don't want to be grouped in. We want to be ourselves. We want to be
Mm-hmm.
individuals, and I can understand, like I said before, it's like a coin. It got two sides to it. I see both sides.
Yeah.
I understand both sides. Like, I
And
can
I
see
agree
how
too.
it can be something to hurt, or I can see how it can be something to defend yourself from being categorized,
Mm-hmm.
which is what nobody wants to be categorized. You
Right.
know
And I
that.
totally agree with you because for instance, for me, I used to be so scared to wear my natural hair because even
Mm,
people in the black community would discriminate me against my own hair. They'd be like, "Why you have that? You have nappy hair and all that." So, but I started to love myself more and to learn that this is me. Me
and
wearing
their
wigs.
opinions don't
Yeah,
matter.
exactly. So I feel like yes, the outside world does discriminate us. They have
Hmm.
this perception about us, but I feel like within our own community, it's almost even more worse because they're trying to hide who we're trying to hide who we really are, and who we are is to have like this texturedized hair and
Mm.
show off like our creative side. That's what
Are
it
those
is.
people are those people who just simply don't know who they are as
That
well?
too.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
think they're showing more fear than exactly who they really are. They want to be perceived as someone that they're not.
Fear or ignorance to the work that it takes to really get to know oneself.
Well, don't you kind of think ignorance is fear in a way?
Um,
There's different levels to fear, but
yes.
in a way it could be fear.
Ignorance. I don't know about if I can consider ignorance to be fear. I feel like ignorance is more of a choice than a fear. Sometimes people don't really choose what they're afraid of. It chooses them.
Hmm. Well, have you heard the saying ignorance is bliss?
Which is why I said ignorance is more so of a choice. Because if you're happy being ignorant, you're choosing to be that way, in my opinion.
Mm.
But if you don't realize that you're being ignorant, I can't. I'm not designed to be mad at people for things that they don't know.
Of
If you
course.
are, if you're consciously doing things ignorantly and you're happy with it, there's something wrong. Like,
Right.
I can't, like, there's a difference for me. I don't know.
And I feel like majority of people rather be ignorant than actually
Which
be
is
themselves because it's based off
exactly
ego.
because it takes work to find out who you are.
It
People don't
does.
even want to put in their own work,
Yeah.
the work that it takes to get to know oneself. Like I said, and like you get people who quote unquote done the work during the pandemic because they've had to stay home, and it's like, but did you really do the work, or did you just sit at home and do the same things that you normally would do?
Mm-hmm. One thing I do know is, especially in the Black community, I feel like a lot of us have traumatic, like a lot of traumatic moments in our lives, and a
Mm,
lot of people don't know how to overcome them. So they choose to be ignorant and they choose to hide themselves because they're scared about what people are, how people are going to view them or what people are going to say to them. In all reality, people don't care about you, really. And the only reason why I say that is because I used to be in that predicament. I used to be so scared about how people viewed me. So I would
mm,
wear these wigs, I would wear these weaves just so I remember wearing a wig and be like, no, it has to be the same wig so people don't know my real hair. Like that's so
mm.
sad. But you think about the fact that I could be vulnerable enough to say that. Think about how many other Black women are like that. You know what I mean? So
True.
it's just a food of thought.
Yeah, and that's something that I don't necessarily hear a lot about. Um,
They hide it.
I, you just dropped a bomb on me.
People hide it all the time. Even braids.
Hmm.
People think that's a protective hairstyle. I had another video. I was talking to this girl. Her hair, she has natural hair past her butt. Like it's super
Okay.
long. And she was
Hmm.
explaining how a protective hairstyle isn't wearing braids, isn't um wearing these twists, like these what like these fake dreads and stuff. You're hiding your hair essentially. That's basically what you're doing. And when she said that, I was like, that's really true. And for so long, a black woman would be like, oh yeah, I'm wearing a protective hairstyle when your hair's breaking off if you wear them too long or something like that. Just say that you're wearing a
Hmm.
hairstyle, not a protective hairstyle, you know? So
Hmm.
when she said that, I was like, that is very true. And the fact that she was open enough to be vulnerable and explain that, you know, we need more black women to just be vulnerable and say that. They're just so scared to be open
Be
and just,
vulnerable.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
crazy. And another thing that's crazy is how the black community, because that's why I talked about colorism.
Wait. You said it's crazy. I don't know if I can really. Is it crazy to not want to be seen as vulnerability is seen as a weakness? I mean, is it crazy to not want to
it's
be seen as weak?
it's seen as a weakness in this society, but you shouldn't
Right.
really care about how people view you because,
I understand that, but at the same time, is it really wrong to not want to appear weak?
yeah, I think it is. I mean, but then again, I
Hmm.
took the steps to work on myself. A lot of people are in
Which would
the
make you appear not to be weak.
what me being vulnerable.
No. You taking the steps would make you appear not to be weak because you've taken the steps. These, like we were saying, these other people haven't taken the steps to get to the point of not being vulnerable, to not appearing weak, because they're too busy worrying about what other people are thinking. Once you get to the point of not even recognizing what other people think to be something that can have weight over oneself, vulnerability is not as powerful.
Mm.
That's my opinion. I don't know. That's just
No,
how I
no,
feel about
that's
it.
interesting. That's interesting that you said that. But the way I think about it, especially now, is people rather be their ego than the actual person that they're supposed to be. They're so scared to
Mm,
be a unique person. And honestly, I've always been a unique person, but I would hide myself because I was scared. But then again, I realized I'm like, you know what? I don't care about what people think about me. And that's why a lot of people are going through this stage of becoming who they really are. So I feel
mm,
like what you said, like, is vulnerability a weakness? In the egotistical way, yes, it is, because a lot of people are like, oh, she's weird, she's unique. But when you are actually being vulnerable, that's more a powerful form of the
mm,
person type of person that you are.
mm-hmm. Okay. I can hear where you're coming from.
Yeah. But I hear what you're coming from too, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are scared to be vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll judge you for it. But then again, once people judge you for that, that just shows that they're in their own fear. So it's like, okay, I don't care
Mm.
about what you think. It's
This is true.
interesting. It really is, like, especially when you change your mindset. And that's why I say a lot of, especially in our community, a lot of Black people are stuck in this traumatic state in their mind.
Mm.
So it's really interesting how
It's true.
once you open up and once you see the bigger picture of things, then you know that a lot of people are living in fear.
You said a lot of people are stuck in a traumatic state in their mind in this day and age. I'm not sure if you did say it in this day and age at the end of it, but um,
Something like
I
that.
I might have added that in my mind. Um, I feel as though that's because people don't realize that we're still slaves
Mm,
in so many ways into so many different things.
that is true.
Slavery never ended.
Mm-hmm.
You're a slave to the clock that you punch.
Mm-hmm.
You're a slave to the bills that you pay
Yeah.
because you gotta do it in order to have what you have.
but it's shifting a little bit because a lot of people are quitting their jobs. They're sick of the underpay. They're sick of committing
The
to a company
abuse.
that don't care, the abuse.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
they're starting their
Mm-hmm.
own businesses. So it is shifting. It's
Exactly.
called, what is it called?
Absolutely.
The gray resignation or something, the
Not
resignation or something. It's like, you
resign
know how, yeah,
their resignations.
yeah, it's called the great resignation or something.
Okay.
That's
I
what,
haven't
like,
heard
that's
about
what
that
they're
before.
calling it. They're people
Okay.
quitting their jobs and stuff. I
Mm,
believe that's what they're calling it. But
okay.
it shows that people are shifting, which is
Yeah, because
good. But then
people
again,
are tired. It's funny you just said people are shifting because people are tired of being shiftless.
yes, exactly. And that's everyone.
Hmm.
That's not just black people. That's everyone in America.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that goes back to those same lazy people who, lazy, selfish, jealous people who say, why do we even have any recognition?
Hmm. And the same
It all
people
ties
that are
together.
saying stuff, because I have people at my job complaining that people are leaving when we don't even get the things that we deserve.
Why you expect people, they expect people to stay
They
when they're
do.
not being given what they deserve?
Why are you talking about other people that are leaving? It just explains why people are
Why they
leaving.
left?
Like,
Yeah, like yeah, it's a mockery
it's crazy. It's
of
crazy.
what a business setting is supposed to be in a sense.
It's crazy.
Hmm.
I I just have no words. Most of the time I don't even say anything to people because the way that they think, it's
Hmm.
just what I would say to them will just go over their head and they'd be like, "You think that way?" People say disgusting things, not even at my job, but just in
In
general.
general. Hmm.
Crazy.
Word.
That was a good conversation. That was a long topic that you're talking about. Right. So back to Black History Month.
Hmm.
What do you think the difference of fascination in Black culture versus appreciation? Do you think it's do you think they're two different things, or do you think they merge together?
Um, like just about everything I can say yes and no. In reference to the fascination, when you said that, I automatically thought of TikTok.
Mm,
Um, and in reference of appreciation, I might have to get back to you on that one because appreciation does not really come our way enough. For example, and this is kind of sort of off topic, but not really. I don't know. It's how you gonna take it. Um, when did Denzel Washington finally get his Oscar?
mm,
When he played what? A bad guy. When he played something that a broken part of society depicts most black men to be, the bad guy. When he's played multiple roles depicting him as a triumphant black man, this man isn't even considered.
mm.
But the moment he plays what you want him to play, let's give him an award. It's
That's
not
a
fair.
really good analogy. I feel like that's huge. That shows the difference of appreciation versus fascination. That's huge. I like that.
I mean, same thing with Will Smith. This man has put on many of movies that jerk your tears, and they don't even bat their eye. Don't even bat an eye. Just give him a nomination. He'll be satisfied with that.
Mm. Same as, well, I'm taking another turn, but like same
Mm,
as women that are like thicker. than, you
Hmm.
know, like for instance, a white woman that is thick, she got a big butt, big boobs and all that, but then they look at a black person and they think that's disgusting.
I mean,
It's kind
that's
of
just
like,
discrimination at its finest. That's ignorance at its finest.
yeah.
I mean, uh, I don't know. I can't.
It's
That's
like,
not
when
me.
is it appreciation versus fascination? It, in
I
my
don't
understanding,
discriminate against any color in a bag of Skittles.
exactly. Yeah.
It's
You
appreciation.
shouldn't. Yeah. But even for instance, I'm kind of shifting turns again, but it seems like, especially in this day and age, a black man would prefer either a mix or a white woman versus an African American woman.
Hmm.
Why do you think there's so many single black women? No one can say anything. No one knows.
I mean, I'm not. I don't think it has anything to do with the color of their skin. First and
Mm,
foremost, um, in my regard, um, I'm all about character. I'm all about presentation. I'm all about appreciation. And the main thing that I'm about in reference of a relationship is patience.
mm,
And if you can't be patient, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you can't exercise continuing like continuance in reference of patience, there's nothing to do with the color of your skin. That has everything to do with appearance, which is where I start. I can't speak for
you
nobody
can't speak
else.
for anyone else, but it seems
Yeah.
like society based, especially since we were talking about TikTok and stuff, it
Uh-huh.
seems like they rather go for someone they rather do they rather go for someone based off their looks than their personality. And
I mean, it's a
I've heard that,
shallow world we live in.
yeah, and I've heard people be like, oh, it's about their character, but then they still end up with a different race. Not saying that's a problem, I don't think that's a problem, but it's just
Hmm.
funny how, I don't know, I just think it's interesting.
Hmm. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I don't. I've never been the type of person to see or base my choices in reference of a partner on color. It's always been
Same.
based on how you treat me and how I treat you,
Yeah.
how we mesh. I've had partners of all different nationalities.
Right.
Like a woman is beautiful. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with the color of her skin.
And spirit has no color, so why would you judge someone for their skin? It's all about the
Exactly.
character.
That's right.
Yeah.
For me, at least, that's right.
Yeah, for me at least too, but it just seems like society doesn't think that way. So,
I mean, it doesn't. It's not that it seems like society doesn't think that way. Society, majority wise, does not think that way. It's not. It seems that's reality.
yeah. Yeah.
Spade is a spade.
Mm-mm.
A spade is a spade.
Yeah. So, why do you think I mean, this is from the beginning of what we were saying, but why do you think Black history should be recognized every day of the year? And why is it American history?
I mean, for what we already stated, that put this paperclip down I've been playing with. Their history would not be their history without our history. This country was literally built on the backs of my family members. My family is from the southern part of this country: South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Florida. You name it. My family
Right.
is basically from some part of that portion of this country. And I'm pretty sure we weren't, we didn't just end up here. somebody had to be brought here for us to
Yeah.
look the way we look here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we know what they was doing in order for things to get done. It's like, yo, you was cracking whip. Come
Right.
on. And he was cracking whip over somebody that looked like me and you. So shut up. Just give us our recognition. Like,
Shut
come
up.
on. Like simply put, just shut up. Like,
I know.
why? Like, why?
I just don't
Why?
understand why we have to fight for this. Like, it should be
For the same reason we have to fight for everything.
everything. Yeah.
You know, if there's
Crazy.
one thing that I learned as a child that is so true every day, nothing in life worth having is easily obtained, which means we gonna have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about how you fight. You fight with your fists or you fight with peace.
Which one do you prefer?
I prefer conversation first. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Right. I definitely prefer peace.
Right.
But some people don't.
That's them.
That's why. Right.
That's them. To each their own. Just don't bring that shit over here.
Yeah, I don't want don't bring over here. I don't want that. I'm all about
Right.
peace. Do you think
Right.
all Black culture is do you think everything is based on Black culture? Like music, art,
Um,
fashion?
I would say yes. Um, Especially in reference of music. Um, I would definitely say yes.
Yes.
Rhythm and blues is the basis of everything,
Yep.
and that came before everything. So, I mean, rhythm rhythm was created without instruments. Rhythm was created from inside.
Mm-hmm.
Rhythm was created with hands and feet. Like,
I was gonna say even before rhythm and blues, they were doing the chanting and all that. That was
that's what I'm
before.
saying. That's where I'm
Yeah.
going. Exactly. That's where I'm going. Like, that's exactly what I meant when I said
Right.
hands and feet. Like, just literally the sound, the rhythm of our feet walking is a beat.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like everything was rhythmic, and rhythm came from us.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, right? So I just have one last question, and you kind of already
Okay.
said a lesson before, but do you have any lessons that you want to share to the public?
Mm. It'll probably be something in reference of patience. People don't take enough time to just listen, and
Mm,
that takes a level of patience that people don't want to even bother to try to tap into. And we're not going to get anywhere in life without it, without patience.
mm-hmm. I
And
definitely agree.
that has nothing to do with the color of our skin, and everything to do with a society of people working together. That's not going to happen without patience. So,
Mm,
if anything, my I guess lesson would be just try to listen more. Like, the lesson learned is to listen for me, because listening, you just you learn so much. The silent are so strong, and people don't really
yeah,
pay attention to just how much they can accomplish. Or, yeah, I'll stay with accomplish just by
yeah,
listening.
that's so true.
Just by listening, like, you can learn so much about a person, to the point that they'll be like, I never even knew you knew me as well as you know me. That's because I listen.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put, I just listen. Oh, I like I like cheeseburgers on Tuesday, and I show up with a junior bacon,
Like, oh my
and
God, how
on a
did you
Tuesday.
know?
I paid attention. I
Right.
listened. I had the
Listen and
patience.
pay attention.
and be patient.
Yeah.
None of that
Patience.
happens without none of it happens without patience.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I
That's
think
a good
that's my
one.
lesson.
Wow.
And I didn't really talk about that one earlier.
Well, thank you so much for being on Lessons Learned. This was a great conversation.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yes.